Alright guys, welcome to another video. This is Naves, and in today's video, I'll be talking about my experience playing Nioh 2. Just for context, I played a bit of Nioh 1 in the past and have had some experience playing Dark Souls games. So the format that I'll be using on this video is to share my experience playing Nioh 2 as far as I could remember, and probably give you guys some feedback on whether it's worth it or not. With regards to Nioh 2's story, it's not something memorable. It's sort of an alternate universe of Japan's Sengoku period and takes place right before Nioh 1. However, the cutscenes in this game is just beautiful, especially when you see the character that you created acting out in the scenes. He doesn't talk much though. But despite that, there are a few notable characters that definitely stand out. One would be Tokichiro, Momio, and Kashin Koji. For people who are just starting into the Nioh series, one might ask if it's a hack and slash game or a Souls type game. Well, after completing the base game, I could say it's in between both worlds, but this game requires you to make sure that the timing when you hit a certain button must be almost perfect, otherwise you'll get punished. Yes, this game is punishing. Within a few minutes in the game, you'll be facing really tough enemies, and yes, it has that same feeling of being a really difficult game, especially right after being bitten to death by a mere Gaki. If I'll compare the first few hours of Nioh 2 and Dark Souls 3, I'd say the first few hours of Nioh 2 is more difficult, but as soon as you go through the game, you'll eventually get your rhythm, the right weapon, the right fighting style, etc., thus making the game a little bit less punishing. Now, when it comes to the fighting mechanics in Nioh 2, it's just amazing. It's not as clunky and heavy as Dark Souls and any other Souls-like game. Also, you'll be able to mix in combos, switch stances, and weapons here and there as you fight really tough human and yokai opponents. I just love the enemy and boss designs in this game as well. Boss fights are crazy, and most of them you'll be fighting in very tight spaces, which adds another layer of difficulty. But with the right execution and the right gear, you'll eventually get through it. In Nioh 2, I was using a spear and hatchet build, and boy was I dying a lot. I didn't pay attention to any ninjutsu or omyu skills and just went on a pure physical warrior-ish build and just got decimated 1,000 times. And I did learn my lesson. Upgrade those ninjutsu skills, guys. Upgrade those omyu skills as well. Now, there will be a lot of skills that you will be leveling up in this game, and it will depend on how you want to play the game. Also, there's a huge weapon option to choose from. You can be an axe wielding priest or a ninja with elemental powers. It's really up to you. And that's one thing that I love about Nioh 2. Just check out YouTube and you'll see people showcasing different builds. You can be whoever you want to be. Also, you get to choose your own guardian spirit in this game. That allows you to have yokai abilities, and how you use them will greatly depend on your playstyle. Now, on my experience, I went for Feral Spirit for dodging and burst counter. I wish I could talk more about this, but this is not a guide type video, so let's move on to the next thing. Inventory. I hate Nioh 2's inventory system. It's really overwhelming, to be honest. As you go through the game, you'll be able to attain weapons from enemies, bosses, random drops. They're almost everywhere, and you can either enhance or disassemble them for parts. Though Nioh 2 allows you to sort them depending on how you want them arranged, it can still get overwhelming sometimes. Now let's talk about the boss fights, since I know that's the main core of the game. Boss fights are crazy difficult if you don't have any experience fighting bosses that are really punishing, or if you don't have any experience playing Dark Souls games. This game can be a bit stressful if you don't. Now, I got one friend who even asked me why a third boss seems like the final boss already, and that's how difficult it is. Every single boss do have their own weakness, and you can exploit them, such as being prone to certain damage types, but most of the time, in my experience, I relied on exploiting perfect openings right after they did a burst attack. There was one boss, Yatsu no Kami, and that boss just took 3 days of my life. Probably because I'm not used to doing burst counters at that time and my character was still a bit weak. But hey, I enjoyed every moment of it. I appreciated how the developers made every single boss and even minor bosses to be really tough. This is the type of game that will keep you coming back for more punishment. Now, I'm about to start playing the DLCs and I'm looking forward to share my insights on it with you guys soon. Bottom line, Nioh 2, is it worth it? Right now on Steam, Nioh 2 is priced at 20 bucks. Now, if you are into Dark Souls or Souls-like games, I'd say go for it. It's really worth it. I don't recommend it though if you're not fan of really challenging games. It's not your usual hack and slash RPG. Now there you have it guys, I hope you gained something from this video. Sorry I can't create a Nioh 2 guide since I'm not really an expert at it and there are other channels that are more suited to make such. But feel free to ask your questions about the game in the comment section below and I'll try to answer them to the best I can. And that's it, Pansit, and I'll see you guys on the next jump.